question. It says, Malia seems to be beating herself up about Chan not asking for her number. It seems like she believes since they haven't had sex that he finds her dull or uninteresting. Why is that? Well, I think that our society is one that places a lot of emphasis on sexual behavior. And a lot of women feel this pressure to put out very early because it's like, well, if I don't seal it up, if I don't secure the bag, and somebody else is going to secure it, well, I want somebody else to secure it, because I'm not doing something for the sake of doing it just so that I can keep you around. I think that Malia was kind of like beating herself up, like, what is it? Like, why won't this dude do this? Like, is he playing with me? Is he seeing somebody? He seems very down to be with her. He seems very down to hang with her. But then this issue of like, how do we make this a thing? Have you ever had, even if it was like, not like a romantic thing, but it could have been like a friend or somebody who you kind of know, but not like too good. And y'all saw each other somewhere, talked for the whole evening. Like, hey girl, how you doing? And everything's good. And then it's like, you don't want to be the person like, well, if you want to get together next week and hang out again, like, you kind of want to be like, should I offer her my number? We can get together and do this again. Or, because I've done that with women who I went to an event, saw you sit next to, we laughed and joked like we were old friends from school. And then I'm like, well, hey, here's my number. Let me know if you ever want to hang out. And they're like, but I guess apparently it was cool for that moment, but I don't want to go past that moment with you. Like, this was cool for this setting, Corenna. I don't want your phone ever. Like, I don't want you to call me again. So that's a thing too, right? So I just definitely think that Malia was wondering, like Kyrie had said, when you cute and somebody's vibing with you and like you vibing with them, what's the problem, sir? Because if there's a problem, please stop coming around here. Don't start vibes that you're not willing to follow up on. Don't do that. That's so unnecessary. So I definitely feel like she was just kind of thinking, did I say something wrong? Maybe am I coming off as like boring? Am I coming off as too church girlish? Like but again, I think it's normal, especially for somebody who's been out the dating world for as long as Malia has been out the dating world to question yourself. I mean, God forbid I had to get out into the dating world tomorrow. It's not going to happen, folks. It wouldn't happen. I think I'm kind of like I'm super old school with the way that I think about things, and the world that I knew at one point doesn't even exist. So I wouldn't know what to do. I would be out here like, deuces, I'm just going to become a whole nun and cut myself off from the world of dating because I just don't understand. And I would be like Malia, I'd be lost. I'd be like, well, did I say something wrong? Or does he find me dull? Well, if you don't like my conversations and my jokes, that's one thing. But definitely I'm not going to be made to feel like if I don't sleep with him, he's going to find someone. You can sleep with him and he'll still cheat, sis. Like, that is not the end all be all. It's not. It's not. Cardi B had said something about her first date with Offset and how she was doing everything in her power to stop her period because she knew she wanted to sleep with him. They had been talking on and off for a little bit, and they had never gotten together. And she said she felt like he was losing interest. Well, she was like, okay, fine, we're gonna get together, and I'm gonna show him every trick God gave me. I don't know if God gave it to her, but she said she was gonna show him the works, right? And she said she felt like she had to sleep with him on the first night to show him that she was serious. I'm like, oh God, that's toxic. I love Cardi B, but I think it's toxic that we feel like as a society, you got to have sex on the first night with a person to show them that you mean business. Because you ain't the only person out there giving out something on the first night. So. Go ahead, little kids.
Well, I think you touched on, I agree with everything you said. Everything. You hit the nail on the head with that question. And I think you touched on something really important about, that's even in friendships and, trying to get to know people and, you share your information and then they don't hit you up and you guys had this great time and, and it's like, oh, okay. And okay, well, I thought we would be good friends, but okay. And I've actually had someone tell me that I do too much, and that's why they didn't want to be my friend, because I'm a busybody and I'm always doing something, always making something. I'm always
sounds like you're a hater, sis.
I'm like, yeah, why would that bother somebody?
Yeah,
only a motivated people would be bothered by somebody's ambition.
Mm.
You don't
Would
need
you
them.
say?
You don't need them. I said only an unmotivated, lazy hater would be telling somebody that you do too much. And Kyrie had said, like in a recent podcast about, whoever she chooses to be that day, I don't judge her. And I was like, okay, like that's weird because yeah, she has a garden. She's a huge yard. Like her front yard is massive and her backyard is massive. So she gardens and she plants flowers, but she also is a designer, and then she also makes like a lot of like her own natural product. I'm not going to be like, so you're making cocoa butter today? Wait a minute, weren't you just creating a painting yesterday? Like, why are you doing so much? That's a hater to me. The fact that my girl knows how to do as much as she knows how to do, I'm like, oh, wow, that's wonderful. That's amazing. So,
Yeah, and I'm always working on self improvement, how I can be better, how I can do better, how I can learn something different, and be better than who I was last week or the day before. And I openly share these aspirations with other women that I'm constantly in contact with, or that I talk to, and I can understand maybe it's a lot of pressure when you're used to doing nothing, and not reaching for those goals and striving for those goals. But I tend to be really hard on myself. And I think that came from my upbringing, but I think it's a good character trait to have. Definitely find balance in that, which I have now, but I didn't always have balance in that, you know. But yeah, I think it's always good to be, self-motivating and learning and growing, and expanding and learning new things. So
people are haters, and I just want to say that again because maybe you're not going to say it. Um, like Alicia said, what does you being busy have to do with them? If you're a person's got 104, billion tasks to do, if you're not complaining about it and I need you to come over, sis, and help me with this stuff, like if you're just a busy person, I don't understand that because like you're never. I talk to you on the phone, and I'm always amazed. Like we'll be on the phone laughing and talking, and then you're like, okay, well I just completed this, and I'm like, wait a minute, you did all that while we were on the phone. Like I have to sometimes cut off certain parts of my brain so I can focus on other things because I'm just like I can't. But she's able to just like do it all simultaneously, which is kind of crazy. Um, but no, she's never like, I got all this work to do. Oh my God. Like she's not that person who's like, I'm so self-important and I need to let everybody know every single task that I have and this whole list. Like she has a list throughout the day. Like people don't know. The list, baby, she'll be like, we'll be talking. She'll be like, well, I just gonna check this off my list. I'm like, you have a list? And she's like, uh-huh. And I'm like, is that what you have in your hand? And she'll hold it up and she'll have like this scratch and mark everything. She's very, very organized, but she's not like making somebody else feel some kind of way. And so if you feel some kind of way because you're around somebody who's highly ambitious, you need to be like, let that motivate you. I want to do more too. Like being around her makes me be like, yo, if my girl can do all of this, there ain't no excuses. I need to get up. I need to up my game, honey. She getting up between 2 and 4 in the morning and starting work. I need to get with this. You know what I mean? She
Mm.
has so much to do, and I'm just like, it's so like it's impressive, and I'm so like it inspires me because I'm like, there is nothing that you can't do. You just have to do it. Like if you really want to do it, you'll figure out a way, and if you don't, you'll figure out an excuse.
Mm.
For real, always a good old excuse out there. Are we ready for the next question?
I don't think Alicia answered that one. I don't think she doesn't look like she wants to. She's like, yeah, next
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. I'm a skip that. You guys pretty much summed everything up. So
I felt like you didn't answer, but then I was like, I don't think she wants to answer. I was like, okay.
I'm like, mm-mm.
So our next question is: as caught up as Malia is in Chan, is she making the right choice to not move so fast? She went back and forth with not inviting him up. Do you think her last relationship is playing a role in her decision to move slow? Yeah, and I think I touched on that earlier. That's probably one of the biggest things, that keeps her on pause with how to proceed in the relationship. Because if somebody can put on this facade and lie and play this role for so long, keeping you in the dark, that keeps you from, like, you're like, I want to do this. It feels good. It sounds nice, but then again, I don't know. So it's like, wanting to go, but it's like, well, I'll wait and see. So I think she's constantly playing that back and forth of wanting to enjoy life's experiences and this new found relationship, but still like, well, hold on. So definitely, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. What's your last, Alicia?
I I I definitely think that her last relationship is playing a bit of a role. You get really hurt, and so you want to, the next time love or whatever, this next time it comes around, you want to make sure it's a for sure thing. You don't want to get hurt again. You start questioning everything, like, okay, blah blah. So she's moving kind of slow. Um, is she making the right choice? Um, I think probably, yeah. She doesn't know it, but we read in the book that that actually turns Chan on a little bit. He's like, okay, she's not, easy. She's not fat. This is going to be a fight. This is going to be I like that about her. So, yeah, and she's not jumping in. It might make. I don't think he would have questioned. He already got his mind made up that she has to love him,
Or else.
or else she gonna die. Yeah, her and dad. So, um, yeah, I don't think even if she did move too fast or anything, that it would have changed his mind about her. But yeah, I really think that it played a role. I think her wanting to, especially since Mike is like, yeah, you waited for me, you want me, blah blah blah, and then Eva had to come in with that little insult, that little cut. Only one chasing me was Mike. So there's this whole, yeah, I'm gonna show you. Look, I could get somebody, I could get some, and then she goes back with her morals. So that's her going back and forth. With not inviting him, I think she regretted it, but definitely, I'm not saying like Mike is on her mind and Mike is the reason. It's just that pain. She don't want to be in that kind of pain again, so she
Girl,
needs to be
it's the
sure
pain.
it's a sure thing
Yeah.
before she jumping into something else.
Oh,
So
it's the pain. It's for
yeah,
sure.
it's not Mike's dusty, but it's the
Mhm.
pain that
Yeah.
she don't need to go through again. She's you know on her healing journey.
Right.
Some might say she's healed, but
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, Malia's coming off is very caught up in him. Again, those damn dreams have her feeling some kind of way. But I definitely think that she is making a good choice to not move too fast. I know everything, every inch of her body was like, baby, invite him up, get him upstairs, get him up here, right? But I think that in the long run, it will be better for her, to have just waited, trying to get to know him. Mike is somebody else. Mike is a whole different type of person, and he's done a lot of mental and emotional damage to her, on top of her family and them kind of making excuses for the things that Mike did to her and the way she was treated. Like, oh, that's just boys being boys, or he was trying to find himself. Or if you would have did what we told you to do, you would have been a better prospect for him, and he wouldn't have had to run off and marry Bianca. So I definitely feel like her taking her time here, even though you know, the R. Kelly song says my mind's telling me yes, and my mind, no, my body's telling me yes, my mind's telling me no, whatever. Right? I feel like she was having a moment like I really want to, but like rationally, she was like I probably shouldn't do that. And even though like she got upstairs and she was like, would have been nice to have homeboy come stay the night. But again, you got to think because just because there's a vibe doesn't mean it's real. People out here faking vibes every freaking day, male and females. And so that's the thing. It's like it's not a male thing. It's a people thing. People fake vibes of being like friends, and we hear about fake friends all the time. It's real, baby. People out here faking. Folks out here playing. So don't get overly invested too soon. So I think Malia was definitely being smart. I think for a very long time, her last relationship with Mike is going to play out in her mind. It's going to be on repeat. I'm not saying that like she's just, wakes up in the morning and thinks about it. I'm saying that like as she makes moves, she's going to constantly probably think like, there were some things that I put up with in the past that I really shouldn't have put up with. And I'm going to make sure that I don't do that again, because you got to learn from your past mistakes. If you don't learn from your past mistakes, you will make the same mistake again. So that's my take on that.
Alrighty. So our next question is, do you agree with Eva? Do you think Malia should take the lead and find out what's up with him, or should she allow Chan to come to her? Um, she doesn't know that she doesn't have a choice in this, but if it was, she don't know that yet. If it was something, I guess, normal, she wasn't being stalked or whatever.
All the good
Um,
stuff.
with the two dates going the way they did, I would say, yeah, she, at this point, if she want to find out if it's real or not, maybe he's shy. We know that's not Chan's particular situation. He actually thinks this is fun and funny. But yeah, if you're with you there, it's times are changing. Times are changing, and role gender roles or whatever, traditional roles is changing. You could let the guy come to you, but if you guys have done that much, like they haven't done anything, so to speak, but I mean they have really good dates. He somehow, even without doing anything, he still got her off.
Girl, stop.
He sure did, in that restaurant, just acting
Okay.
up. So with that kind of thing happening, and then them spending time, it seems like the flow is easy between them or whatever. um I would say, yeah, she could, I could agree with Eva and be like, hey, look, this is obviously bothering you, you're confused, this ain't going the way you want, why don't you try taking the lead? Let them know, hey, I'm interested. Where are we going with this? Are we together, or are you just a friend? Like,
Yeah.
um, I agree with Eva, especially since Malia is so bothered by it. I mean, panic attacks after dancing and twirling, and that whole up and down. Like, obviously, emotions are involved here, so she needs to know how far to take this.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what's, yeah. I agree with
No.
Eva.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I don't think that finding out what's up is necessarily
Mhm.
taking the lead, you know? So I think she can call him out on, hey, what are we doing
Right.
here? And that doesn't mean
Right.
she's taking the lead. She can
Right.
still allow him the space to be a man and do what he needs to do to pursue her. So,
I agree. I agree. And I was thinking the same thing, that if it's been to this point, y'all have hung out twice now, and you still don't have the digits. If it happened, he came around a third time, I would be like, hey, so like, what's going on here? Like, is this a like, are you, what is your intentions? I don't have a problem asking somebody, state your intentions, playa. State your intentions, because um if you're not looking for something, then I want to know that. And then also, if you are looking for something but you're seeing other people, I would like to know that as well. Because, or if you want to date exclusively, I need to know what we're doing. I need to know, I need to have a roadmap. I need labels. I need titles. I need all of that to figure out what's happening. Because I'm not going to be off in my head thinking, oh my God, he is so into me. And then he's dating four other people and I show up to a restaurant. I'm like, how dare you? I mean, I wouldn't do that, to be honest. I would act like I didn't see him, because I'm like, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of thinking that my feelings are hurt. They are, okay. I'm human, but I'm not going to show you that. You're just going to be blocked later on, okay. So no, I definitely agree with Eva, and saying, hey, just kind of figure out like what's going on, so that you know what you need to be doing with your time, because nobody has time to be sitting around wasting energy on, does he like me? Does he not like me? Who cares about all that? Let's ask the question. question? Is that my
That's
question?
you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Malia seems to be avoiding difficult conversations. Eva was trying to help, but it seems she runs away when things get complicated. Why? A lot of families don't really deal with how people are feeling, and we've discussed that multiple times. There's a lot of people kind of just repressing things and deal with it on your own. Figure it out. Don't talk about it. So yeah, I definitely don't think that Malia is taking the time to deal with all of what's happening because she doesn't really know how to. I don't feel like she has tapped into those emotional skills and like they call it emotional intelligence, being aware of where you're at and what's going on and how you feel about things. She doesn't know how to deal with it. She runs from difficult conversations because a lot of times I know in my family that's what you do. You don't deal with it. I mean, either people are screaming and yelling about something or people are just avoiding it altogether. There's no in between. And so you have to learn that's not really a positive way to deal with it. I have to actually sit down when I'm level headed and say, hey, this really made me feel some kind of way. So, Alicia, what are your thoughts?
Um, she she doesn't want to deal with it. She does. I don't know why she see it. Sometimes it could be easier. It could be easier to run away and just not deal with it. It's not healthy. You definitely, if you have issues or something arises, you need to handle that, deal with it right away, have those conversations, get stuff resolved. That would be the healthy way to do it. But sometimes it is easier to just avoid it, and to, I guess, either until you can't or until you are ready.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I agree.
Yeah, everything that you guys said, and even when you do get to a place where you are emotionally aware, doesn't mean you know how to verbalize those things and voice your opinions and how you feel. And it's like, that's one thing that I struggled with when I was making that transition. Okay, so now I know how I feel. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to say it, and then
Right.
feeling safe when you say it, having that open space where you're not going to be judged. This comment or this statement is not going to come back and bite you in your ass later,
Mm-hmm.
like that person is not going to take that information and use it against you in the long run or whatever. That's another reason why I appreciate my dear friends here, like I know everything that I say, it's like it's going to be accepted and taken in love, and however it comes across, it's just like, okay, yeah, that's how you feel. Woohoo, girl. And go to the next thing. And it's not going to be like something that they're going to use against me later, and that's why it's so important to find your community, find your team, find your family, even if it's not blood, where you can
Right.
openly share and you can work through these emotions and these feelings, you know, um, so you don't have to feel like you have to run away because it's going to look
Right.
bad on you or your family and
Right.
come back and hit you later. So I think that's
Definitely.
why, she runs away. I have been in that place in my life years and years ago. But so yeah.
Definitely. Kyrie, next question is yours.
Next question. Why does Chan get off seeing Malia hurt like this? It's strange and it makes me uncomfortable. Uh, is that your classic narcissist? I think that's the best way to sum it up, and that goes back to his triad roots. That's what he's seen, that's what he's been taught. So I don't think I even though he loves her and doesn't want to hurt her, this is his way of showing love,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
I'm gonna leave it there.
I agree. Alicia, what is your take?
um, it does. It made me uncomfortable. Well, not uncomfortable. I was a little irritated. Like, now the ass is coming out of the hole, if you know what I mean. Like, he's and now I'm like, yeah, the fact that he knew, and he's watching her just unravel on film, sitting at home. It said he was of his bed. Yeah, I'm like, bro. So I'm just picturing him, with that. He poured him a glass of that wine and he's just sitting back unwinding, watching this woman unravel in her house. And I'm like, bro. And getting off on, not that kind of getting off, but like seriously satisfied. He's like, yeah, she is feeling me like this. And yeah, it is strange. I don't know why he gets off on. I don't. That's the bad guy. That's the bad that's coming out.
Right.
Them demons is something real.
Yeah.
Anybody that enjoy to see anybody in pain, it's like,
Yeah, but it's real.
but it's real.
It's
I'm like, that
it's
is sick. Like,
it's very sick, but I feel like we've all three of us have dealt with people who got off on hurting us. You
yeah,
know, I had a relationship that when I was holding auditions because he just wasn't handling the business that he was supposed to be handling. So I'm gonna handle it for you, player. Yeah, he got off on trying to do things that it felt very much like I'm trying to crush your spirit. And then it was like the cheating and all the other stuff. And at that point, baby, when you sick of a person when they cheat on you, you're like, okay, well, I'll see you later. Like, just leave and get away from me. Like, I don't want it. Like, I've told you a number of times to stop coming over. You keep showing up, sir. Leave me alone. I don't want you. I want her to have you. She won. She can have you. But yeah, I definitely feel like there's something sick about sitting back and being like, I have this power over you, and it excites me to know that I can do what I want to do, and I can hurt you, and see you squirm. Like, he's seeing her sweat. He's seeing how this whole situation is affecting her. And it's like, it is giving narcissist. And it's giving some misogyny too, because he was like, yeah, it's so amazing how, like, if you don't give a woman a little bit of attention, how fast you can break her down. Like, sir, you sound very hurt. When men start talking like that, you've been hurt and you need to go somewhere and heal that hurt, because now you out here invoking trauma on other people, and it's not necessary. Malia doesn't deserve that. So yeah, I was very uncomfortable by that. And I think we should. Again, I think we've all been around men who did their own little variations of BS like that because they thought, this is how I man up, this is how I boss up, this is how I show her who's in charge. I'm gonna show you who's in charge with that good old block button. Yeah. Yeah, and then you show up at the door, I just won't open that up either. So I'm gonna show you who's in charge. Because at the end of the day, we all have to be happy. And if I'm not happy, you can go bye-bye. Let her have you. Next question, Alicia.
So next question, or our last question for today. A few days went by and Chan didn't reach out. I am annoyed with him. He is obsessed with making sure she is the one, but watching her won't tell him that. I am not convinced he is the one for her. Why is he treating this potential relationship like a business deal? Ooh, it's a lot to unpack there. Because that's what he's a triad. He got stuff to lose, including his mind. So yeah, I guess it's annoying for us, and I guess for Malia too, because he's sending mixed messages, like he's really really into her, but he's cool with not, getting her contact information or anything like that. And the whole back and forth, and really, I don't know, I'm bothered by him relaxing and watching her have a panic attack, and being and liking that. So um now I'm probably convinced, yeah, this is no good
Mhm.
for poor
No
Malia.
bueno.
um yeah, he's treating this like a business. That's how he does. That's the way he do things. I mean, before even meeting her, he, had a whole team do a workup and bug everything, her house and everybody. So, um, that's just in his nature, I guess. He's treating it
I
like a
agree.
business deal because he's a triad. That's what they do.
I agree. Oh, get off of her. This make me sick. I told you about that last night, D. That's my woman, okay? We share, okay? Sick of him.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It goes back to his triad roots, and how he's seen his father handle relationships and Russell handle relationships, and I mean all these other men that he's experienced, in his life. That's just been what they're taught. They're not taught to be soft and cater to your woman and do all that jazz. So yeah,
I fully agree. I think that his triad ways are definitely coming out. I think that him being who he is, he approaches everything like business. He approaches everything like a contract. So him seeing her squirm and having the upper hand, I feel like that is exciting for him because he's like, okay, yeah, because I know now. Like when you're doing business deals with people, you always want the best deal. You always want to be the person who comes out on top of that deal. And I feel like even with him, with Malia, like this almost breaking her down so that she is more grateful for the time that they spend together. It's like, I'm trying to get more out of you by playing these mind games. It's really about mind games here. And but I guess his bad side is coming out. We're really starting to see just how sadistic he can be. And again, folks, it only gets worse from here. But yeah, yeah, he's not playing fair here. Any final thoughts, ladies, before we end our podcast?
No, ma'am.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for being here today. I really appreciate it. There's a lot going on. Miss Curier's daughter will be graduating today from elementary school, so that is big. That's a
Yay.
big deal. Yeah, that's a big deal.
She's so
And
cute.
everybody just has. Yeah, and she showed us her hair earlier, so we got a chance to see what Mama did for her and everything. So it's an exciting day, and so a lot of stuff going on with everybody, and school's wrapping up where you're at, Kyrie, and we have another month left here of this, but kind of have mixed emotions about that because I'm like, then the kids are gonna be home in the summer. Oh God, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's gonna make the podcast interesting over here.
I'm gonna go hide in my room. Well, that's
Mm.
all for this episode of Rose City, the After Show. We hope you enjoyed our discussion on episode 18. Don't forget to tune in next week. We will be diving into episode 19 if you haven't already read it. What are you waiting for? The first 3 chapters are free on Kindle Vella. So there's really no reason for you not to check out this amazing story. I'm sure you'll be hooked. New episodes are being published every week. We love hearing from our readers. So please add your thoughts, questions, and theories to the comments. And reach out to us on Rose City The After Show on Facebook. All links will be provided in the description. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next week in Rose City. Bye.